Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider dropping likes and if you do consider subscriber to the channel as always. So essentially, as we all know, that investment is needed into Manchester United this summer, and today on this video I'm going to give you an update on some current transfer rumours that are currently going on. So we do know that investment is needed into Manchester United in the summer, and reportedly we're going to get around over £200 million to spend this summer of course as well. But the most essential thing is, that Manchester United, of course, are still looking to hire a director of football, to come in, to change club structure and all that. But the most essential thing is, we've got to get the right players who've got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, he's got the job permanently. His expectation levels will be, obviously, to get the right recruitment in the summer, and obviously, to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, and to get us back to being a powerhouse as we was under Alex Ferguson, get us back up there, challenging and winning trophies, of course, as well. But a lot of people are saying that Manchester United, of course, should spend the money wisely this summer, so we should be sensible in our recruitment, of course, this summer as well. Solskjaer himself has obviously identified the positions where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. I think his priority is to get a right winner in. Obviously, he wants to get a full back in, of course, as well, a right back. He wants to get a central defender in, and I think we need a couple of additions in that midfield, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. But I think he wants to win about at least 5 new additions this summer. Solskjaer, I think, is expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out as well. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a team worthy of the club's history, of course, because you can see potentially the deficiencies in the squad. But potentially we all know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course, because obviously we didn't spend out in January last summer, of course, we hardly spent out as well, and potentially we didn't get as priority targets last summer, as we all know. We do know a lot of money's being spent at Manchester United, since Alex Ferguson retired and all that, about £600-700 million being spent. We've had different managers with different philosophies, and we've been playing catch up for the last 5 years, of course, as well. But potentially, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. Jose Mourinho spent just under 400 million. There's still some players here from Louis van Gaal, of course, as well. So definitely, investment is currently needed. And I think Manchester United want to get Champions League football for next season, of course. So in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer transfer window. If we do want to get the players to the highest quality, of course, as well. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in regular contact with Ed Woodward, now making plans for the summer, and it's good that he's emphasising his targets. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been interested, in quite a few young upcoming players as well. But there's been a lot of talks, going on about West Ham's Declan Rice. First topic of development I want to give you an update on. There's been a lot of talks going on about Declan Rice. He plays for West Ham. I've been updating you about him on a regular basis. I think reportedly he's rated at around 40 or 50 million pounds. Is Declan Rice, but potentially it did say that Manchester United are ready to spend around 50 million pounds on West Ham's Declan Rice. I think he got called up to the senior team a couple of years ago with West Ham as well, did Declan Rice, and reportedly this season he's had a great breakthrough season as Declan Rice. And reportedly, if Declan Rice is to arrive to Manchester United this summer, Matic's future could be in doubt with Manchester United, of course, because I do think we need a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious, because I've analysed Matic's performances since Solskjaer's come in, and overall, they have improved, but since he's recovered from injury, Matic has been very, very slow. He's been very, very ineffective in that midfield, and plus he's aging up, of course, as well as Nemanja Matic. And plus, he's aging up, is Nemanja Matic, of course, as well. But there has been a lot of talks, going on about this Declan Rice, and I do think we need a couple of additions in midfield, because obviously it's looking like Herrera's on his way out. Pogba's future is still up in the air as well. So potentially, I think we need a centre defensive midfielder, and I think we need a couple of midfielders, of course, as well. But Declan Rice actually, began his career with Chelsea in their youth academy, of course. Well, I think he joined Chelsea's youth academy, was it in 2006? He was there quite a lot of years, to be honest. He joined at the age of 7, but he got axed by Chelsea in 2014, and then he went on, to join West Ham's academy, of course, as well. But I think he broke into the senior squad a couple of years ago. But reportedly he's growing and he's developing, he's flourishing fantastically well under Manuel Pellegrini. Is Declan Rice. He has got a contract with West Ham until 2024, of course, as Declan Rice as well. I think he can play as a centre back, but I think he's mainly a holding midfielder. Is Declan Rice. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. He's 20 years of age. I think he's made about 56 appearances for West West Ham in the Premier League, and I think he scored about 2 goals as well. So do you think he'd fit in our midfield trio very, very well? Declan Rice, if he was to come in, I think we can get him for a reasonable figure of around 40-50 million pounds. So reports are saying that Manchester United are reportedly willing to put 50 million pounds in for him, but he did leave Chelsea at the age of 14, and he went to join West Ham at the age of 14, risen up their youth system, broke into the senior squad a couple of years ago, but reportedly he's had a great season this season with West Ham, of course, as well. But he's got a contract with West Ham till 2024, which I do think he signed back in December, of course, as well. So there's also, been talks, a lot of talks about Declan Rice going on. Obviously, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been a prime target for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for me, I think it's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. For me, he'd be a perfect successor to the likes of Valencia and Ashley Young, of course, because we do need someone young and ambitious on that right-hand side. And Manchester United, again, could get Aaron Wan-Bissaka for a reasonable fee. I think he's rated at around £40 million. I think I heard reports yesterday on someone else's channel saying that he's interested in making a move to Manchester United. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. His defensive capabilities are very, very good indeed. And again, I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years. He's very, very young. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents, of course. Well, I think he only broke into the Crystal Palace senior team last year, of course, as well. I think he's made about, nearly 40 appearances in the senior team with Crystal Palace, but he's only 21 years of age. But I think that's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's key targets, of course, as well. So there has also, been talks about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We do know that obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically said, he wants Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he wants Declan Rice. He's also interested in Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, and he's been mentioned in the media again. One of England's youngest upcoming talents is Callum Hudson-Odoi, but I don't really see Chelsea selling him in the summer, to be quite honest with you, because obviously it was Bayern Munich's top priority, back in January, of course, was Callum Hudson-Odoi. Bayern Munich held talks, Bayern Munich had a host of bids, turned down for him, back in January, Callum Hudson-Odoi. He has indicated that he's nowhere in the process of signing a new contract with Chelsea. Chelsea have tried to convince him to sign a new contract. I just think most recently he made his first Premier League start, did Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he still remains under contract with Chelsea till 2020. He did put a transfer request in, back in January, did Callum Hudson-Odoi, because he did want to leave Chelsea, but Chelsea were reluctant, of course, to let him leave. But Bayern Munich may revive the interest this summer, but it's also said that Manchester United are interested in him, and not too long ago he made his England senior debut, of course, well. But I think he's still got strong reservations about his game time, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and obviously he wants to go to a team, where he can get first team football week in, week out, but he can play as a winner. He can also play as a forward as well, and he's only 18 years of age, of course, as well as Callum Hudson-Odoi. And potentially, don't forget, Chelsea, of course, have got a transfer ban, as we all know, as well. So these are the targets that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does want, as we all know as well. We do know the club's number one priority target is obviously Jadon Sancho. Now, potentially, we do know that Jadon Sancho is going to cost Manchester United, of course, around £100 million. We do know that Jadon Sancho is going to cost Manchester United around £100 million, as we all know as well. So he's going to cost us a 9-figure sum. Again, one of England's youngest upcoming talents, of course. He's just turned 19 years of age, of course, not too long ago. But we need someone that can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box, of course, as well. And I think he'd link up very, very well, alongside Rashford and Martial in our attacking line. And I think Jadon Sancho is the solution to Manchester United's problems, of course. I think his physical attributes are very, very good. He's good in terms of an attacking intent. He can provide, he can score goals. And all that as well. And if we were to come to an agreement to get him in the summer, it would make him the most expensive English footballer ever. It did come out the other week saying that Man United officials had approached Jadon Sancho's representatives and saying that Manchester United believe we can still get Jadon Sancho for around £80 million. He's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund till 2022, as we all know. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of seasons now. Borussia Dortmund paid £8 million to him for Manchester City a couple of years ago, of course, as well. But potentially he has attracted interest from Manchester United, and I still think is the club's number one priority target, is Jadon Sancho as well. He's a former Manchester City player, he did serve a couple of years with Manchester City. He actually began his youth career with Watford as well, did Jadon Sancho. But Manchester United have been heavily linked to him. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with their players, but I think if he does become for sale, I think from Borussia Dortmund's perspective, they've adamant he'll still remain at Borussia Dortmund in the new season. But if they are to do any business, they could demand up to £100 million for Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. So potentially Manchester United have been heavily linked with him as well. But as I did currently say, I think Solskjaer's expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out, and there could be up to 7 players leaving this summer. I think it did say Solskjaer's ready to get rid of 6 players, but he did also mention that David De Gea could be on his way out, even Paul Pogba, could be on his way out, because there has been a lot of talks, going on about David De Gea recently, saying that Manchester United have been in talks of getting him a new contract. Reportedly, De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week, if he's to commit his long-term future in Manchester United. So he's demanding £350,000 a week. So potentially he wants to be the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez at the club. And as I did say to you guys, and I've been saying on a regular basis, that currently what Sanchez is earning, it's totally affecting our wage structure in a bad way, because now we've got other players, demanding, quite a bit more money, of course. And Man United are reportedly not willing to meet David De Gea's £350,000 a week wage demands. This is why we haven't come to an agreement to get him a new contract yet. Obviously, we still know that he's under contract with Manchester United till 2020, because last year we activated a 12-month extension, but potentially he's demanding £350,000 a week. Is De Gea, I think at the moment he's on £200,000 a week, and Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea, of course. It's also said that PSG now are reportedly interested in David De Gea, but I think Solskjaer's explained that De Gea won't leave, he said Pogba won't leave, so Solskjaer obviously, Solskjaer's priority also as well, to keep hold of 2 key players, and that's De Gea and Paul Pogba, of course, as well. If De Gea though has been a great servant for Manchester United, this is what his 7th, 8th season now at the club. De Gea's, he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, he's made 100, he's got 100 Premier League clean sheets as well, and he's won everything here domestically as David De Gea, so potentially he is the best goalkeeper in the world without a shadow of a doubt. So potentially, hopefully, we can still come to an agreement to get him a new contract, of course, as well. But it's saying that PSG are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. But potentially, if Manchester United are to sell David De Gea this summer, because potentially, if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, obviously, we'd rather cash in for De Gea this summer rather than let him go on a free the summer after. Potentially, I think Man United have emphasised, 2 possible targets, that could replace De Gea if he does leave this summer, and that's Everton's Jordan Pickford and Atletico Madrid's Jan Oblak as well. And Solskjaer said he's interested in Jordan Pickford if De Gea is to leave. And Jordan Pickford, I've analysed his performances, and I think he's done really, really well for Everton. He's a pretty decent goalkeeper. He's nowhere near the same calibre or level as De Gea, to be quite honest with you, but reportedly his performances in the World Cup for England last summer, were really, really good as well. Everton obviously paid £25 million for Jordan Pickford a couple of years ago from Sunderland as well. He was quite a few teams on loan, was Jordan Pickford, but Everton, obviously, paid £25 million for him from Sunderland, where he actually, began his youth career, of course. But I think he'll likely cost Man United in the region of around £60 million or something like that as well, Jordan Pickford. I think he's got a contract with Everton until 2024 as well as Jordan Pickford, but potentially Solskjaer has said he's interested in Jordan Pickford if De Gea leaves. I know Blanc has been mentioned. No, Blanc will probably cost us around 85 or 90 million pounds to get him or something like that as well. Giving you the news on Paul Pogba, of course, as well. We do know there's still a lot of reports going out, linking him with a move to Real Madrid. And recent reports have been coming out saying that he's demanding an astronomical salary of around £500,000 a week if he's to remain loyal to Manchester United, if he's to sign a new contract with Manchester United, of course. Well, Paul Pogba has basically said he wants around £500,000 a week. So potentially, he wants to be the highest paid player at the club alongside Alexis Sanchez. And, he's been potentially, he's been one of our most influential players, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, and I've analysed his performances. His performances overall have been fantastic. In the last couple of games, his performances have been below par, and this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been thinking about, has been, considering a tactical shift, for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. But potentially, we know that he's been heavily linked to a move to Real Madrid as Paul Pogba. We do know that his agent Mariola has been in the process of finding him a new club. His agent Mariola the other week was in Manchester, to negotiate a move for Pogba. He's had a couple of negotiations with Real Madrid, to negotiate a move for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. But potentially Paul Pogba's still under contract with Manchester United till 2021, so he's still got over 2 years left on his deal. Plus, there is an option of a third year as well. But it did say Man United were in the process of beginning contract negotiations with Paul Pogba, and I think Man United were keen on getting him a new 3-year deal, of course, well, to defend the interest from Real Madrid, of course, as well. But potentially, this is his 3rd season at Manchester United, of course. We do know this is Paul Pogba's 3rd season at Manchester United, of course, as well. We paid £89 million in from Juventus back in 2016. So potentially he is our most expensive player, of course, as well. But obviously, he came out the other week, Paul Pogba, he's a couple of weeks ago now, he's talking a lot about Real Madrid, describing them as a dream club, saying that he admits playing for Zinedine Zidane, it would be a dream for him and all that. So he did speak a lot about Real Madrid, so that could have concerns to Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, well. And obviously Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player, and there's been reports coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put a bid in of 125 million for Paul Pogba this summer, of course, as well. But I think according to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said Paul Pogba's happy at Manchester United, and Solskjaer still feels as though that he's got a big future at Manchester United as Paul Pogba as well. But reportedly he's demanding, he wants £500,000 a week if he's to sign a new contract at Man United, so he's demanding a £200,000 pay rise because he's currently on £300,000 a week at the moment, of course, as well. So potentially his future's up in the air at the moment is Paul Pogba's, of course. But I think if any offers do come this summer, Manchester United, of course, are going to turn them down, because obviously Real Madrid are planning for the investment this summer. Obviously Zinedine Zidane's emphasised quite a few of his targets he's interested in. Reportedly Zinedine Zidane's going to get around £300 million spending spree this summer, and obviously one of his targets is emphasised is obviously Paul Pogba, of course, well. But I think Real Madrid, as reports were saying the other day, as he updated you on, are on the brink of getting Chelsea's Eden Hazard. That's been a potential target, of course, for Real Madrid. Another players, that are going to leave Manchester United in the summer, of course, well, it's looking like Valencia is definitely on his way out of the club, because this is 10th season that Manchester United, of course, is Antonio Valencia's, as we all know, he's made over 300 appearances in all competition over the years. Valencia has been very, very essential indeed, and he has been a good servant to Manchester United, to be quite fair, but potentially he's out at the moment with a calf injury, and we opted against that decision, to give him that new 1 year extension. But of course, looking likely Marcus Rojo's on his way out of the club as well, as I already said to you, because Rojo's career has been affected, the amount of injuries he's currently suffered, just recovered from long-term absence. If a new centre-back comes in this summer, of course, it's looking likely Eric Bailly will be on his way out as well. Eric Bailly has been at Manchester United, of course, since 2016, and this is now his third season at Manchester United. I think he's made about 49 appearances for the club in the league and scored 1 goal, so he's just made under 50 appearances as Eric Bailly, of course, as well. But he's been in and out of the team this season, because obviously Smalling and Jones have obviously, been first choice ahead of Eric Bailly, of course. So initially, he has lost his place in the team, but the most essential thing is we've got to get a centre-back, we've got to get a world-class centre-back, because we haven't had one since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand, and we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. And we do know that there's been a lot of talks going on about Rafael Varane. We do know that Rafael Varane will probably cost us up to around £100 million, but again, he's a great player. He's only 25 years of age, is Rafael Varane. The reports coming out about the other week, I was updating you on, saying that Man United are interested. Man United are in talks to sign Rafael Varane for around £100 million, reportedly. And it's remarkable what he's achieved as a 25-year-old, Rafael Varane. This is his, I think this is his 8th season now, is it, with Real Madrid, Rafael Varane, of course, as well. I think he's made about 270 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions, as we all know, as well. But reports are coming out from Spain saying that reportedly he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer. Reportedly, is Rafael Varane, of course, as well. But I think from Real Madrid's perspective and Zinedine Zidane's perspective, they're not willing to let him go. And I think it's remarkable what he's achieved. He must have won about 16 major honours or something like that, with Real Madrid. But this is his 8th season with Real Madrid. Of course, he has got a huge release clause in his deal of 429 million, of course, as well as, Rafael Varane. So potentially he reads the game very, very well. His ability is very, very good. He shows that ability, that he can play out from the back, of course, as well, Rafael Varane. So I think he'd be a great addition in our back line. He'd be a fantastic leader, and he'd look very, very good alongside Victor Lindelof, of course. Well, he's still got a contract with Real Madrid till 2022. I think he's attracted interest, from quite a few teams, as Rafael Varane, of course, as well. So there has been, talks about him, going on. I do think, obviously, Diamond's on his way out of Manchester United this summer, as well, because he's endured a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. So I think he's on his way out as well. For me, Fred, I don't know if Fred is a long-term solution, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know if Fred is a long-term solution. Fred's been very, very inconsistent as a Manchester United player, as we all know. Well, really, he hasn't really had the opportunity for me. He hasn't really had the opportunity, and obviously, he has got strong reservations about his game time. But when he has had the opportunity, Fred, he's been very, very disappointing indeed. We paid around just under £50 million for him last summer, of course, from Shakhtar Donetsk, of course, as well. And he's been very, very inconsistent indeed. So for me, I don't know if Fred's towards a long-term solution. But to be fair, I think Andrews Pereira and McTominay, played really, really well. When we had that injury crisis in the midfield, I thought they stepped up to the plate very, very well. They played between the lines well, but I don't know if the likes of McTominay and the Pereira and that, have got the capabilities to elevate Manchester United in the next, have got the capabilities, to graduate us to that level, of course. So potentially that's why I said we need some new additions, of course, into that midfield, of course, as well. And we need someone that can go alongside Matic and Paul Pogba, of course, as well. But yeah, I also think definitely, Sanchez is on his way out of Manchester United as well. He's another player that I think's on his way out because, again, he's been one of our most inconsistent players, as Alexis Sanchez. And really, I've analysed, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, and he's really been on the player that's been very inconsistent, of course, as well. And Fred as well, if you could say. But Sanchez has been very, very poor indeed. When he has been given the opportunity, he just looks so restricted. He just looks as though he hasn't been getting any freedom. And he just looks as though he hasn't been fitting under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, Alexis Sanchez. I think, considering his substantial wages on, obviously it's going to be hard to find a buyer for Sanchez, of course, this summer as well. It's going to be very, very difficult, to find a buyer for him. I don't think many teams, can currently afford his wages, to be quite honest with you, Alexis Sanchez's. But potentially, he's currently injured at the moment, and he's suffered quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, of course, as Sanchez. But he's been very inconsistent, of course, indeed, and he's been very, very poor, indeed. So I think Solskjaer's lost faith and trustworthiness in him, and I think we may consider loaning him out in the summer, or is Sanchez willing to take some kind of wage cut? I do not know, but he's age 30 now, as Alexis Sanchez, and he has lost that yard of pace, to be quite honest, and he's not playing to the highest level anymore, of course, but he's been very, very poor for Manchester United, as we all know, as well. I think Juan Mata could be on his way out this summer, as well, as I've been talking about with you. Juan Mata, Barcelona are in talks to get him on a free transfer at the end of the season, of course, as well. And Juan Mata, again, he's been a great servant to Manchester United. Juan Mata, I think he's made about over 200 appearances in all competitions. I think he's scored about 50 goals in the Premier League, of course, as well. And over the years, he has been very essential, but he's aging up now. He's age 30. I think Manchester United have been in talks of getting him a new contract, but obviously I don't think it will be a long-term contract, considering that he is age 30 now, of course, is Juan Mata, as well. So potentially, yeah, he could be on his way out in the summer, of course, as well. So there's going to be quite a few players that are going to be on the way out this summer. Obviously Lukaku's also been spoken about in the media. A lot of Manchester United fans are saying that he should be moved on in the summer, of course, as well. Romelu Lukaku, we paid £75 million for him, of course, a couple of years ago, and he's got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku, and his goal scoring form is very, very good, but I've got strong reservations about him. His finishing lets him down, his first touch concerns me. He bottles it against the big games, he bottles it in the big games, of course. For me, he doesn't get enough of them runs in behind, and to be fair, he does perform better, when he's getting that support up front, there's Romelu Lukaku. But for me, I think he could be on his way out this summer, of course, as well. Potentially, some people saying now we potentially need a backup striker, of course, because obviously we can't rely on Rashford for one season, to go on, to make us get us up there, challenging and winning the league, of course, as well. So yeah, a lot of players are going to leave Manchester United this summer. Of course, as well. So potentially, as I give you my update yesterday on the Manchester United Barcelona preview, of course, as well. We do know this is going to be a mouth-watering clash, between Manchester United and Barcelona. I think, obviously Manchester United are going to be the underdogs. I don't like to be negative. About my own team, of course, as well. And potentially, if we raise up to this occasion, we are capable of beating Barcelona. Believe it or not, we know we're coming up against an elite opposition. We're coming up against one of the best teams in the world, of course, as well. Obviously, probably one of the favourites to win the Champions League, Barcelona. They've got great facilities. They're a well-established club. They've got arguably, the best player in the world, of course, through Lionel Messi, of course, as well. And I know recently, we've been in a bad vein of form because Manchester United, we have lost our last three. We've lost 3 of our last 4 games, of course. So we usually do rise to occasions like this, of course, and it can be done. Manchester United can beat Barcelona, because I don't think Barcelona is as good as they were, back in 2011 when they beat us in the Champions League final 3-1. Not as good as they were when they beat us in the 2009 Champions League final 2-0, of course, as well. But essentially for me, we did beat them 11 years ago in 2008. It was Paul Scholes. He scored the goal, and we won that Champions League semi-final, and he progressed us to the final, of course, as well. But yeah, it will be a great game indeed between Manchester United and Barcelona, as we all know. The one good thing is, when Manchester United, of course, do go to Nou Camp, it's going to bring this is the second leg. It's going to bring back a lot of memories for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because obviously 1999, of course, he won as a treble, you know, at the Nou Camp against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. So that's going to bring back a lot of memories, you know, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Barcelona, we do know they're going to be winning La Liga again. They're obviously top of La Liga again. I think this is going to be their fourth La Liga in 5 seasons, of course, as well. You know, they've also got a lot of money at Barcelona, and they are a big club, you know, to be quite honest. And I think, you know, it's going to be a huge chance for the likes of Smalling, Lindelof coming up against the likes of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, of course, as well. Barcelona, of course, I think they've got Ousmane Dembele with a hamstring injury, but I think there's some reports saying he could be available, Ousmane Dembele. So if that is the case, it would be interesting to see Luke Shaw coming up against Ousmane Dembele, of course, as well. And Ousmane Dembele is only very young. Indeed, he's Ousmane Dembele. You know, he's 21 or is he 22 years of age. He's sustained quite a few injuries as a Barcelona player, you know, as Ousmane Dembele, as we all know, as well. And he's been at Barcelona a couple of years now. Barcelona paid £105 million for him a couple of years ago from Borussia Dortmund, as we all know. And I haven't really watched him perform at Barcelona, but I know that he's sustained quite a few injuries, and he had a few injuries in his first season now with Barcelona as well. You know, I think they've got Rafinha out for the season, of course, at Barcelona as well. Potentially a bit of team news. I'll give you my starting 11 prediction yesterday going into the game. Yeah, it's looking like Rashford's going to be available, which is very good. And Barcelona have got to be aware of a threat Manchester United can cause, because, you know, we can play well. You know, we do well on the counter attack. You know, we can press high up the pitch, and I think Barcelona are aware of that. Of course, when we've got the likes of Pogba, Martial, and Rashford, you know, that could cause problems, you know, for Barcelona, of course, well. But Rashford sustained an ankle injury. This is why he didn't play against Wolves, but I think he should be available for the game tomorrow night, of course, as well. I think Herrera's going to be available as well, because he sustained a knock. He missed the Wolves game, of course, well, you know, did Ander Herrera. But, you know, these players that have definitely, you know, got to step up to the plate, as we all know, as well, because this is a big game. But anything can happen in football. You know, look what happened in the last round. You know, we performed a fantastic, miraculous comeback against PSG. And, you know, we came back from a 2-goal deficit in the first leg and won the second leg, you know, 3-1, of course, well. And don't forget, Manchester United had 10 first-team players out. So, potentially, you know, it's possible, of course. So it was good to see us make history in the Champions League, of course, as well. But I can't wait for the game. It's going to be a very entertaining game of football. I think we'll be happy to allow, you know, Barcelona, you know, to maintain a lot of the possession. But I think Manchester United's key factor is, you know, to sort of like figure Lionel Messi out. You know, we can't like let Lionel Messi, you know, have the ball too much, of course, as well. And that's the thing, you know, Manchester United have got to watch out for, of course, as well. But the main thing on this video, I wanted to give you an update on some transfer rumours that are going on. Give you a bit of more of an update on Declan Rice. I'll go through Declan Rice again. Reportedly, Manchester United are prepared to spend up to £50 million on West Ham's Declan Rice, and I think it's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, you know, to be quite honest. And he's looking to add some new additions in that midfield. He's mainly a defensive midfielder, of course, as well, and we could see him possibly as a long-term replacement, you know, for Nemanja Matic. Obviously, he's had a good breakthrough season with West Ham this season. I think he's been in the senior team, you know, a couple of years now with West Ham. I think he got called up a couple of years ago to the senior squad, you know, with West Ham. Actually, as a youngster, when he was a lot younger, he actually began his youth career with Chelsea, of course. Well, he was there quite a lot of years, and, you know, he joined, I think, Chelsea's youth academy at the age of 7. You know, he got axed at the age of 14, did Declan Rice, and then he actually went to join West Ham's youth academy, of course, as well. But now I think he's made about 56 appearances now for West Ham, of course, as well as Declan Rice, and reportedly he's had a good season with West Ham, and he's under contract with West Ham till 2024, of course, as well. So potentially Manchester United have showed an interest in Declan Rice, of course, as well. And there's been talks about Hirving Lozano going on as well. Again, another youngster. He's 23 years of age, of course. He's Mexican, and reportedly, you know, he had a great World Cup with Mexico last summer as well, you know, Hirving Lozano. And I think he's available through reasonable figure. I think you can get him for around £31 million or £30 million, because I think that's his current release clause, reportedly, as well. So there has been a lot of talks about that, and I think I read a bit about Hirving Lozano yesterday. He did basically say, I think he's been talking with Javi Hernandez or something like that, because obviously, you know, they're both Mexican, and I think Hirving Lozano, if I'm right, I might be wrong, has actually, you know, asked, you know, Javi Hernandez, you know, what life was like at Old Trafford, because obviously Javi Hernandez, you know, was at Manchester United a number of years, of course, and he played really well, indeed. And, you know, I think reports have been indicating that Hirving Lozano is interested in making a move to Manchester United, reportedly, as well. And his performances for PSV have been very good, indeed, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider a subscriber to the channel, as always, guys, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.